Yeah, just for both of you, what has it been like kind of getting back to work after the emotional high of last weekend and kind of focusing on the task ahead?
I think Saturday night was really fun celebrating, but I think as soon as Sunday came around, we took our rest day well and started getting focused to playing St. Louis and to our tournament game.
Yeah, I think we've just been kind of locked in on like our future opponent, not looking too far ahead and also not like living in the past, kind of just seeing right what's ahead of us and focusing on that.
You know, for Mackenzie, being a senior, this is kind of one of your final rides. How has that been getting all the way to the tournament at this point? Kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's been super fun because we haven't gotten this far in the past. We made the tournament 2 years ago, but lost in the first round, so it's been super special. New team, new girls, new coaching staff, so it's been really awesome just to like be a part of it and be a part of the growth.
Mackenzie, Coach Lee's talked a lot about you managing your injury, your ability to even be out there. Can you just take us through that journey and how difficult it is right now to even be able to play? And obviously you're pushing through some pain and it seems to be worth it, but what's that been like for you?
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with our athletic trainer, Allie, and she's awesome and has been so helpful and stuff. So just managing kind of my reps at practice and what I do day in and day out, and just been really taking care of myself and really focused on that.
Was there ever a time for you where you worried that the injury might keep you out, like out?
Talking to doctors and stuff, I've always kind of asked, like, if I were to push through this kind of pain, like, would it be more detrimental, or, like, is it just pain that I can push through? So it kind of just depends on what the answer has been, and it's always been, like, it's nothing structurally has ever been really wrong. It's just been battling with the pain and stuff, so.
Did you know your pain tolerance was as high as it is going into that before you got injured? I mean,
sometimes I think the adrenaline and just the energy of, like, game day and everything kind of helps like me take my mind off of it, so it's not always like top of my mind like right there, so I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, Kate, what's that like from your perspective, to see a veteran player like that push? And obviously you guys are better when she's out there, but how I guess inspiring might be the word, or how helpful is it that you see her fighting to be out there with you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I think she does a great job on the field, and she's such a good leader for all of us to have with us. And I think, you know, sometimes when she gets fouled, there's something that looks painful, but she's always able to get right back up. And I know she works so hard, too. And I know she works with Allie, like she was saying, and she just puts in all the extra effort to be ready for game days and ready for us.
Kate, on Monday, Coach Lee kind of described you as like a skeleton key on the team, someone who can do a lot of different stuff. You know, what's that been like this season as a freshman, having to adjust to new tactics and kind of just adjust on the fly?
Yeah, definitely new to adjust to new tactics and new coaching staff. Obviously, I knew them, but like coming from high school and club soccer. But it's been awesome, and I'm truly so grateful. I think whether doing film with the coaches or film with the team, they've been really helpful, just helping me figure it out. And I think from our first game to now, there's just been a huge difference, not only with me, but with the entire team, of just growth. And I think grateful for the coaches for really helping us with it.
And kind of like what I asked Mackenzie, but for you as a freshman, what's that been like in your first season of college soccer? You know, getting this far, winning the Big 12, that sort of thing. How's that been?
Literally awesome, like beyond my wildest dreams. I remember watching the tournament last year and being like, wow, I want to be there. Or just the Big 12 tournament, like, wow, I want to play in that championship. And then to be able to win it is just surreal and awesome. I'm so grateful.
Mackenzie, I'm not going to harp on this too much, but are there ways that you find yourself having to play a different style or do things differently just to manage your injury and kind of do things differently than you might have if you were 100%? At game time?
Yeah, sometimes like before games I'll be battling like maybe a little bit more pain than normal, but I feel like once I get out there it all kind of just wipes away and I'm just focused on the task at hand. So sometimes I think it bothers me, especially if I get banged up in like the middle of the game. But again, I think going back to like adrenaline and energy, like that helps kind of take care of it.
Awesome. And about Kate, you know, Nate was very complimentary of her. What have you seen from her and you know, one of those 15 newcomers that has made a real big impact already at such a young age? I mean, what stands out about the way she's played all year?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Kate's come in here and made a difference right away, and I think like shown that she belongs on the field and that she can lead in all sorts of ways and stuff. And so I think it's been really cool, and it's cool to see how much like we've all grown in the last 6 months together, 4 months together, whatever it's been. And it makes me really excited to see like what they'll be like and she'll be like as like a senior and a junior when they keep going.
For either or both of you, what has it been like having a normal week of preparation instead of the kind of whirlwind that was the Big 12 tournament, having to prepare for all those different opponents so quickly?
For me, it's been nice having like a few more days in between games, because before we were like Thursday was kind of a recovery, Friday and just like preparing and stuff, and then come Saturday we play again, and then back to recovery and days off and taking care of our bodies and stuff. So it's been nice to just have more than just 2 days or 3 days in between games.
Yeah, just like she was saying, I think we had a recovery session yesterday and we had some days off, and it was just really good to kind of refuel, recharge, and get focused for the next task on hand.
Kind of like what I was just saying, but what's it been like kind of getting back into a more normal routine leading up to this game and refocusing after the weekend?
Yeah, it's been a little bit difficult in that way to shift out of celebration mode and into work mode. The players, we gave them that extended break. I hope that's the right call. They got back to work yesterday, but not on the soccer field. At 2:45, in about a half hour, we're going to go in, do some film, and then hit the training field. I hope this is a good test of our leadership and our culture, that when we get outside today, we hit the ground running, that we're sharp from kind of kick one. I use the term around the team like statement of intent. When we go out today, I want us to act like we're getting ready to play a very big game on Friday. So it's nice to have that break. I think it was healthy and helpful for all of us, and I just hope we can fly back into our rhythm.
Kind of branching off of that, in preparation for a game like this, is there any talk of, oh, this is an NCAA tournament game? Or do you just treat it as, any other game?
I think for all this, whether it was the tournament we just got off or the game we're about to approach, you don't want to purposely avoid the stakes, right? I think, world records are set in Olympics and world championships, not in just some random meets. And so I think the people can rise to the occasion. I think there's that extra level of motivation. I've in my career seen players like play out of their mind in the right way in those moments. You've also seen players and teams kind of play tight, and it's not that they're not working hard or they don't want it. It's that the weight of expectations or the occasion can feel heavy. We've tried to find that right balance of, hey, this is pretty neat. Not many teams get this opportunity. We've earned something special. Like, let's embrace it. All of them, I missed the first part of it, but they're hurting, right? Kate and Boeve, in particular, like if you see them on non-game days, are usually in a boot or something of those kinds. So you need that little extra adrenaline sometimes to get your body going. We also don't want to be paralyzed by the moment. So we'll discuss it in our team meeting here. We're going back on the road for a proper road trip, which it's been a minute, so we have to kind of remember that. But yeah, we're not going to do anything as it relates to process of what our week looks like, or match day -1, match day -2. That's pretty consistent.
And then kind of like you said, with going on the road, having it kind of be a proper road trip, is there any advantage to having it be at least a little bit close to home? Obviously, it's not as close as Kansas City, but it's a lot more manageable than having to, do a road trip in West Virginia or Arizona.
Yeah, I think the first part that I'm really thankful for and grateful for is that we're bringing the whole team. If we had to hop on the plane across the country, I don't know if we'd be afforded that opportunity. I'm thankful for KU and supporting that these student athletes get to be there, which is a number one for me. The bus ride. We have a training session at like noon tomorrow, and we had to kind of figure out: do we go today? Do we try to train here and then not take that opportunity tomorrow? I like traveling and then training. The expression that I use is get the travel out of your legs. And so, we'll train on their training field, which is just adjacent to their match field. We can walk the match field, similar to what we did before the Big 12 tournament. It's great that we can hop on a bus, be there in 4 or 5 hours. I'd rather that than the alternative of having to get on a plane and go across the country. Same time zone as well. Yeah.
Coach, when your team's as hot as they are right now, where they're, you've got that 8-match win streak, how do you handle expectations in the locker room with that?
Yeah, I don't think we've had to do too much. Stay out of the way a little bit, right? I don't want to. We use a term in our coaching cohort of not projecting on the team. So if we feel a certain way or think they might feel a certain way, let's not project it upon them. If we're wondering, just ask them. What do you need? How are you feeling? So again, it's just this tricky mix of like we're riding some momentum. We're on a bit of a hot streak. We were kind of going into the tournament, and as a coach, you don't want to jinx it. You don't want to call too much attention to it. You don't want to provide motivation for the opponent. But you want the team to embrace it and take it and fuel. And so I think that's that same mix we're still trying to find right now. I know one positive is like the team wants to keep playing, right? Playing has been fun. The outcomes have been fun. The stakes keep rising, and they want to keep playing. And they know that the next game we lose, we're done playing. And I think that provides a little motivation. I don't think we have to point that out too much. I don't think we have to point out too much that we're about to compete in the NCAA tournament. These players grew up wanting this moment and wanting this opportunity. We're going to play under the lights. SLU always attracts a good crowd. I'm sure Jayhawk Nation will travel well, and so they'll feel the stakes as it's there. And so I don't think we have to go out of our way to point too much out.
You touched on this a little bit on Monday, but SLU has seen your style many times over the years from when you were at Xavier. I guess how much different is it? Because you've often talked about how surprise works to your guys' advantage. Obviously, they haven't seen your personnel here, but like, how much different is it going against a team that knows what you want to do?
Yeah, they've seen that sort of speed of defending and pressing. That probably won't be new to them. We're playing a bit of a different shape this year than they had faced against the teams that we coached in the past. I think we're going on 4 years in a row. There's not going to be a ton of surprises unless they do a huge tactical wrinkle. They're doing things pretty similar to what they've done in the past, and that is zero knock on anything, because if it's not, it's obviously worked. It's obviously worked. They've played the same teams in conference year over year, and they're in the midst of a 7-peat, right? And so one things I've always prided our teams on is like, hey, we'll give you the scouting report on our team. You just have to be able to stop it. Or like, as you make choices, we'll make choices, and we'll see kind of how that works. I think they seemingly have somewhat of a similar mentality. They, like you said, they'll kind of know what speed of play to expect. But I do think we do have a couple different tactical setups that they didn't face in the past. And I'm sure they're preparing for that now.
And speaking of SLU, and you obviously mentioned 7 straight conference titles, how do you guys as a team keep yourselves from kind of looking at those numbers and, I don't want to say gawking, but feeling a little bit intimidated by it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if our teams, I don't know how they're feeling about it. What I'll say is when we traveled to West Virginia this year and we're on their training facility, if you look at all their graphics around, there's quite a few NCAA tournaments, and they had a streak of 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row. They went to the Final Four. That is pretty. When you're there, you're like, "Ooh, this program's seen a lot of success." As we were preparing to play TCU, I think they had before last year a run of 3 straight Elite Eights. I mean, that is rare company in what we do, and they had won the regular season undefeated. They were riding, 12-game unbeaten streak, something to that effect. Not much phases our team right now. I think one advantage we have, we might not have the experience in this game coming up in the NCAA tournament, but one thing we have is we're not going to overthink it either, right? We go out and we compete. We expect to win, and we'll see where everything kind of falls out.
Kind of branching off that, obviously with knowing about teams like West Virginia, TCU, that you have gone out and beat in these last couple of weeks, what does that do to this team going into the tournament? Do you guys think, we've beat West Virginia, we've beat TCU, we've beat Texas Tech, we can kind of do anything?
I hope it continues to fuel their belief. I know I think it was halftime of the TCU game. I was questioning how much our team believed that we could win that game. And so once we calmed them down and once we made a little bit of tactical kind of clarification, the second part of my halftime talk with them was just fueling their belief. It's a great equalizer if a team truly has it and deserves to have it, right? Not just, we think we should. They know why they deserve to believe. I think us beating the 3-2-1 seeds in 8 days or whatever it was should show this team that we can compete with anyone, play with anyone, beat anyone, if we, do what our program's about. And so I don't think that I do think that last week's sort of experience should fuel their belief. What I'm hoping it doesn't do is fuel any sort of overconfidence. I always kind of go back to the term of like, we have to remember and double down on why we're successful, not just kind of revel in the outcome in that given day. And, we've had a lot of pats on the back over the last set of days, and they're well-deserved for those players. And I'm so happy that they were able to experience them. But I hope it doesn't get in the way of like reinvesting in why they earned those in the first place.